I am looking to see if this is working here. Let's see. If anyone's listening to me and can hear me right now, then you are seeing the first time I've ever streamed on my computer. I'm just trying to make sure or see if it's working here. I'm working here and I'm not ignoring anybody. Just let's see if I can look and see that this is working. It says that it's working. Hold on. Bear with me, people. I am literally in the process of figuring this out. Okay, now I've got my chat. Now it looks like James Ward, Brad Johnson. I am live. This is the first time I'm live on my computer ever. So what I would like to do is give, I want to give my first shout out to Brad Combs. We need to write a book together, the L33 Trance. Oh, thanks, Pickle Rick. Look at you, $2.99. I appreciate that. All right, we are live, and it says 41 watching now. Now, you guys can do better than that. Okay, Brad Combs helped me. It says 189 watching now. Now it's getting interesting. Hey, there's the official. Is it lover of the Digital Asset Investor channel? Oh, he wants to be the official thanks, Tom Hinault. Wants to be the official Spanish translator. I think I just saw. Yeah, the Spanish that's Juan Ortega. Juan, here's what I would say to you: is do I follow you on Twitter? If I follow you on Twitter, then DM me, and it puts you in the official title queue. But I do want to remind everybody, I just gave a shout out, but Brad Combs, this has been what's so crazy about my channel, and people, I'm not ignoring the chat box. I am looking at the chat box right now, and and by the way, tell me what you're all looking at. Thanks Bart, Kiweed. Is it Kiweed? Kiwood? But I'm not ignoring the chat. I'm just trying to talk a little bit. I want to see what are you guys seeing live Coin Watch over here on the screen? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Yeah, you do see live Coin Watch. Thank you, XRP Muser. Now let's go through some of these people. Thanks, XRP Pizza. I see XRP JT. I see hiding out now. Jason Page. It's going fast here. Dr. Sauce, Donnie Johnson. I see. This is how you're supposed to do these live chats, by the way. I see Loco is free. Vet Bro. There's Pickle Rick again. Thanks. Can I be the official Uber driver of the Digital Asset Investor channel? I'm out driving right now. Yes, you can. If you DM me, then go ahead and give yourself the title. You know what? That's a pretty cool idea. If you shoot, you just bought you a title. How about that? You are the official Uber driver of the Digital Asset Investor channel. C-Dub XRP, hello. Now, Brad Combs told me XRP video killer of the hopium dealers. Okay. All right. So DII I need to, one of the settings on this thing that I can't quite figure out is the how to slow the thing down so I can read everybody. Dude, can I be the official backup Uber driver? Digital Coin Wave. Everybody can hear me okay, right? Let me know that you can hear me right. We got 300 here. Don't worry, folks. I'm gonna do this for. I've got my coffee right here. Hola, DAI. These live streams become a regular thing. I'm gonna be here for a while, so and because this is the first time I've ever done this, I'm gonna try to do it long enough to figure out what I'm doing right and wrong. So first, I'm gonna switch this out. Can you guys see my Twitter feed here? I hope that's working. XRP, that's not the same XRP Vegas that I know. Brad Combs told me that I can remove people, so there we go. I think I removed one. Everybody can't be nice, but all right. So I was going to try to go over, and thank you for that. Who was that? I saw $10 come through somewhere. But anyway, I was going to try to go over some exit strategy type stuff. So if you guys have any questions about, I know nobody's on today with the market down. I know nobody. Thank you, Captain Crypto Morgan. The dishwasher is ready for your attention. That's exactly right. In fact, that thing needs to be unloaded right now, and I don't want any part of it, but I appreciate the $1.99. CS Hi, XR Peeps, how are you? And then, but anyway, so I was going to go over some exit type strategy things, which for most of us are going to include Coinbase or Coinbase Pro more likely. And then also like Uphold. I used Uphold today. For those of you over in Europe, Bitstamp would be my chosen one over there in Europe. But and then of course the Ledger hard wallet. But I'm going to go back to this and see what we're looking like on this live coin thing here. Looks like we've got 336 in here. To be honest, if to even stop this stream, I don't even know exactly. I'm so new to this that I don't even know exactly what to do. But I do want to pay close attention to what you guys are saying, because that's the one part of my channel that I've never done. And so, okay, so this right here, Valton E. Griffiths, Gemini, Eris X. Gemini, I'm fine with, but Gemini, hey, in Australia, Gemini just doesn't want to list XRP, but I think Gemini is a great exchange. It's not that they're not a great exchange, it's just that they don't want to list XRP, and those guys won't even respond to you when you ask them about listing XRP, which I think is kind of bizarre. Michael LaBelle says, watch Jim Rickards on London Real, ex-CIA banker, XRP, Koenig. I'm trying to pay some attention here to everybody. Does Binance US have an app yet? They don't have it in Georgia, which is where I am, and so I haven't even really looked into Binance US yet, but I will. I'm interested in Binance US. They just haven't. Hey, can anybody explain to me how these people like Chuck Schuldiner just put digital asset investor in red across my screen? How do you do that? I don't even know how to do that. I'm trying to figure all this out. Okay. My nephew Lyndon says, hi, he's 3. I bought him his first shallow bag today. Well, I bought a shallow bag today myself, and I thought it was, I was very excited when I saw the numbers today because opportunity was knocking. Love your videos, man. Makes my commute enjoyable. Thank you. Hello, yes, no, 666. I don't know about that 666, but I appreciate it. Now, hello, what that reminds me of is, isn't there a Beatles song? Hello, da-da, I don't know. Yeah, my son's doing a project on the Beatles right now. That's why I'm thinking Beatles. Hey, thank you, DAI's the man. Using sign like DAI can just leave this open and click. Okay, yeah. Well, actually, let me talk to. He can just leave this open and do super chat. Let me tell you, Scott Caruso. You know what I've been doing for 2 years? For 2 years, no matter how hard it has been, I've been doing my best to put together good videos 2 or 3 times a day, and I've worked very hard, and I'm very proud of how hard I've worked, and I've tried my best to put out honest, good information when everybody felt like there was no reason to hope, and to be an inspiration, not a false inspiration, but an actual inspiration, because I believe a new asset class won't come along probably in anybody here. Thanks, Bill Armstrong. Probably won't come along in anybody's lifetime for the next 2 or 3 lifetimes. And so I believe that this is a monumental enough time that we all should be up and awake and ready to roll. And so I've tried my best to inspire, because I believe that digital assets and XRP specifically are so worthy of being optimistic and feeling good about things. Even though you have days like today and everything inside of you tells you, oh, I'm scared and all that. That's not how I roll. That's not how anyone should roll if they really understand digital assets. Put at before their name. Okay, thank you for the answer, CS. When When you type a person's name, that person sees their own name highlighted. Okay, cool. You learn something every day. Good, you have the live stream. XRP sentiment has been going down. You're welcome. Great information. Thank you. DAI, you're the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look, hey, I am, like I've told the story on this channel a lot of times, I literally started this channel because I'm interested. Thank you, Simon Bickerton. Let me read this. I read that book you suggest, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and my sales have increased 100%. Your C champ. Hey, listen, let me tell you, anybody that's listening to my voice, okay, listen to what I'm about to tell you. And this is not just for you young people, but it's for you older people out there as well. One of the defining, and I was actually talking to someone today about this, one of the defining differences that I have tried to make on this channel, and not just in other channels, but defining difference in social media that I've tried to do on this channel and on Twitter is right out of that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And any of you, if you've not read that book, I recommend getting the audio book because you can listen to it over and over, and you can go on YouTube and listen to it for free. How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you read that book and don't approach that book as a tactic in life, and you're not trying to trick people, but approach it. If I had to summarize that book in one thing, I would say that what that book is about is checking your ego at the door. Trust me, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people being ugly to me on Twitter or in my YouTube comments and all of those things. But the way I try to approach my life, and especially on social media, because you don't see it very often on social media, and that is, I guess it's the way it says in the Bible to turn the other cheek. Because when you do that and you don't focus on your ego and trying to be right all the time, a lot of times people don't really want to be mean to you. A lot of times, some people do. Whoa, cheap websites today. Whoa. I've been listening to your stream since early last year. Hodel, it's that easy. Keep up the good work. But I want to make sure I complete this thought. If you will approach everyone, even the ones that are trying to be mean, and in a worst case on Twitter, you can block someone if they just don't want to be nice. Just block them and move on. But a lot of times, even though your ego tells you to go and be ugly to someone and I'm going to get them. Well, my grandfather taught me something a long time ago. He said, if you ever set out to destroy someone, or in this case, humiliate someone or be ugly to someone, then dig 2 graves. And I've never forgotten that. And so even when many people that you might see that are being ugly to you in your daily life or on social media, they may say something that deserves a comeback. But sometimes to not give them a comeback, or to come back and acknowledge the truth of what they are saying, or if there is any truth. If there's not, ignore it or just block and move on. That, to me, is the adult thing to do. But it is straight. If you ever read a book in your life, besides, or if there's 2 things you can listen to, it is that book and the Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. If you listen to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, which I've listened to over 200 times in my life, and How to Win Friends and Influence People, that's it. It's all the secrets to how to conduct your life. Now, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but someone brought up that in this chat, and so it was worthy. That is always worthy of bringing up. I was so inspired by you and Brad Cons that I decided to go back to school and study blockchain tech. Keep bringing the news, Mike. Hey, thank you, William Sutherland. I appreciate that. Now, folks, I carved out plenty of time here today, so I can sit here and talk to you as long as you want. And as long as everybody's being nice, I'll just let it keep scrolling there. But how about when Moon, we all visit the DAI, throw a huge barbecue? I would love to smoke you guys a butt. In fact, next weekend is Auburn, Alabama, and I'm probably going to smoke one then. He says, I think you're a smart smart computer nerd who acts like a country guy. Well, I'm not really country. not really country. I am from the South, and so I do have this accent. I'm stuck with it. Thank you, Hulu Hot 16. Thank you for the inspirational hard work over the past 2 years. Hey, I appreciate it. And the truth is, the reason that I am so positive, and maybe some people call it inspirational or whatever. Danny Loft, Epstein didn't off himself. Go XRP, baby. I saw a guy, Danny Loft, I saw a guy on a video yesterday where he's reeling in a fish and he's catching a fish, and he looked in his mouth and it said Epstein didn't kill himself. For those of you that don't know, he's talking about the Epstein guy that apparently hung himself in the cell and was involved in that whole sex scandal or whatever. But anyway, nothing like smoking pork butts and chickens. Hello from the UK, Mike Smith. I'm gonna see if I recognize some. Oh, XRP Carolina, I recognize you. Sang Kim, thank you from Korea. You're all over the world. I appreciate that. DAI, what was the cheapest price you purchased XRP at? The answer to that is below pennies. Alex D Vlogs, $1.99. Can I be the first Filipino? If you DM me, Alex V Vlogs, DM me if you want a title. I get flooded with these things, so I'll catch you if you're persistent. James Malpass, hey man, awesome video the other day where I took out at 34.20 they had the central banker. We were proud of our Southern twang here in Georgia. War Eagle, yes sir. War Eagle, it hasn't been all that that great for Auburn this year, but you know what the problem with Auburn is every year we seem to be able to get a running back, but we can't seem to get any kind of consistency at quarterback. We got Cam Newton, and of course we all know we didn't pay him, right? Well, but we did get Cam Newton, but we just can't seem to keep a consistent quarterback. From Haiti to Miami Beach, Florida, XRP, all the way to the moon soon. Love it, just tuned in. Let's see, how about them Buckeyes? Well, the Buckeyes, they always seem to be somewhere in the hunt, don't they? Official rocket scientist. Hey, there's Roy Tremblay. Hey, man, I definitely know him. Y'all seen the pictures of Roy in front of the space shuttle Atlantis. I'm doing this stream and I'm like, this is kind of fun to just sit here and talk to you guys. I guess I've been missing out on this for a long time. But one thing that I'm gonna do if I start doing these streams, which I'm happy to start doing these streams more often, but just to kind of talk to everybody. We got a Mississippi boy here. Would be honored if I could be the official F-35 composed technician of the I don't even know what that is. Composed technician. But my wife's family is from Mississippi, and they're big Mississippi State people, and both of my sons are sellouts to their own father, and they don't like Auburn, and they like following Mississippi State and Georgia, where my wife went. And so, what in the world's happening? We got 500 viewers in this right now, folks. This is the bad thing when I did my first few live streams. It was bad because I wasn't able to really sit here and look at your comments. And so that's the real thing that I should have done in my first few live streams. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this every so often so that I can give you the attention that is due, because this channel never happens without all of you. And so by the way, if there's anything, I'm reading your comments here. So if there's anything, okay, I normally listen to you in 1.5 speed, so you sound different today, only because I get through. I understand, hey, I have been accused of being slack-jawed before. That's a derogatory term for we Southerners, So what's your opinion of McAfee decks? My opinion is that I love John McAfee. I'm trying to improve the technology of this channel, and I'm setting this channel up so that I can do more live streams and then get some people in so that we can actually read their, so that you can see a video of me and them, or just them and I'm talking or whatever. And I'd like to do that with John McAfee. But I love the idea of the decentralized exchange that he's doing. The problem with decentralized exchanges and with and the people that are creating them, as well as with these privacy coins, anything that is literally Danny Loth, official DAI fan. The problem with any of these things is, hey, there's Michelle XRP. She has been a big part of providing information over the last couple of years. There's Leonidas, XRParcade.com, one of the best websites that there is. Tim Doherty, I grew up in Georgia but live in Kentucky now. When XRP moons, you and I need to make a, whatever the rest of that is. I'd love to come up there and watch one of those horse races just one time. But I think you have to buy really fancy clothes to go do that. Of course, I could wear one of those suits that I bought to go to Swell. You people probably all think that I don't have any suits. I have suits, but I just wanted to get something nice before I went there. The suit I was wearing in the picture with Brad Garlinghouse was a new, not a suit. It was a new outfit. Suit's the wrong. Keeneland. Tim Doherty says Keeneland. Let me know. Thank you, Noah Monty. Can I be the official, how do I say that, scallywag sailor of the Digital Asset Investor channel? You sure can. If you'll DM me, because I can name you right now. And if you want the name right now, so it is. The official scallywag sailor of the Digital Asset Investor channel. So it is done. Why DM me? Okay, XRP will make my wallet fat. F3 composite technician, Mr. DS. Sorry, thanks. Yeah, you can have it. It's yours. These titles. Just remember, people, these titles. Once you get one with great titles comes great responsibility, and I just want you to always remember that. Can I be the official conductor? I think we might already have a conductor. I don't remember. If there's an official conductor out there, I want to do an aside here. There's an official realtor. I want to do an aside here while we're talking about these titles, because I have seen people that make fun of it and they say, oh, how stupid that is and all. But the truth of the matter is that the reason that even came up, it originally came up just on the fly when I named the official language snob, who is one of my friends who kept trying to correct me when I would say words and not say them correctly on the channel. And then once I gave him that title, I said, well, if he's got a title, maybe some other people need titles. And I really just started doing that kind of as a joke, and it kind of turned into a whole thing. The Crypto D, I'm a shark guy. We're going to need a bigger boat. You could be the official shark guy like that. My son, Alex D, hey man, hey, I appreciate it. How about me? First Filipino of the DAI channel. So it is done, Alex D. The first Filipino of the Digital Asset Investor channel. I appreciate that tip there. This is so weird because I've watched everyone for the last 2 years doing these live streams, and I've been exactly where you are. In fact, you know what I haven't done yet? Type here. No, wrong thing. Sorry. Let me move this up just a little bit. XRP Wild Horse. I want to be the official turd. Hey, I need an official turd. Why not? I keep doing that wrong. Okay, here it is. Here's my official first comment ever in the chat section in a live stream. Right there. First comment ever. Boom. First comment. What's up? The official avionics tech for the new gold stream. Well, do y'all, I think this title stuff's hilarious myself, but if you guys want to talk about anything serious having to do, there's really nothing to talk about with digital assets today. One of the things I thought was the most interesting thing I saw today was when Charles Hoskinson had put out his tweet about how all this really doesn't mean anything in the scheme of things. And he was talking about how this crypto thing is going to take everything over. There's Viper I89. Hello from Michigan. Love your videos, D. I've been listening every day since I stumbled upon your channel 2 years ago. You're a good guy. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe we'll meet someday. yeah, I'm not going to stay behind my computer from now on. I'm going to get out there. Now, I have to take a break because I did Vegas and I did Singapore, and that was heavy duty. You need an official gambler. Sin City, yeah, I do. You're the official gambler now. Buying XRP today reminds me of buying physical gold and silver since loading stack growing. Thank you, say XRP. Hey, DI, you've influenced me to create a YouTube channel and give back to the XRP. I'll teach developers how to build mobile apps on the XRP ledger. All you got to do when you start your channel is let me know, and I will send you viewers as much as I can. That's one thing that I was talking to somebody about today, is that, part of the way that I've created this whole channel is it's the old Zig Ziglar saying, you can have anything you want if you help enough other people get what they want. And what I've done really more or less is I go out of my way to send people to other people that are trying their best, whether it's a blog or a Twitter feed or a new YouTube channel. Everybody's trying to do their best to add to the community, and so I try my best to kind of send everybody in the right direction. And granted, as far as the technology goes, there's a lot of these young kids that are a lot more advanced than I am, so I do the best I can. But I think I've figured out a cookie cutter approach that's as low tech as possible that works for me. And so I hope that I've done a pretty good job doing it the best way that I am able to do it. And many of you who have been here from the start, or even in the last year, know what it was like when we had my slow computer, and I'd be doing a show and it would lock up, the screen would freeze, and I would say, just wait here for a minute. I mean, it was pretty darn funny, but maybe it was funny for me and it's annoying to some of you, but I hope that some of you appreciated it for what it was. And I try to suck the humor out of life when possible. And there's a little bit of humor in just about everything if you look hard enough. And so I've had a good time. I remember the one time I was doing this show, and at noon on Saturdays, tornado sirens go off all over town here. And so it was noon on a Saturday, and I forgot that the tornado siren was going off, and it goes off right in the middle of my show. And I said, I was just recording a video. I said, I don't want to redo this, and so you may hear a tornado siren, but that's just the way it is. And that's kind of, I've tried to just be a real guy, and that's kind of what this has been about, is trying to be straightforward about things. So if y'all have any questions or you want me to go over anything, I will, but I'm trying in this stream to, more than anything, just read some of what you're saying. Let's see, you have subscribers because you're genuine. Okay. Could you appoint me the official engineer Barbie of that position if still available? Yeah, why not? Thank you, Maltese Crypto. Hey, I would like to be the official integration manager of the Digital Asset Investor channel. Yes, and for those of you that are all wanting these titles and everything, go to Salvo Leon and he's got these shirts. I'm not making any money off of that, but he'll create a shirt on demand for your title. It's pretty cool. I thought it was a good idea, and he had helped me out making some shirts a couple of weeks ago, and so I told him, yeah, run with that idea, man. You keep the money, and I didn't want to get involved in that, but he has a great idea, and he puts out a good product. Is Uphold for New Yorkers? I don't know the answer to that, but I can find out. Uphold is extremely responsive on Twitter. When you on Twitter, if you ask Uphold a question, they're going to answer it. So Stack Paparent, is that your name? Come on my radar on Twitter, and we'll ask them. They'll answer the question. These guys are extremely responsive. Oh no, we got an LSU fan in here. Falcon L, you're literally an asset of the community. The AI, go Tigers. I'm going to let the go Tigers. LSU as an Auburn fan that's been the thorn in our side to me, even more than Alabama. Alabama is what it is, but to me, to me, LSU is the one that I just hate playing, especially at LSU. It is the worst thing possible. These guys, it is almost impossible to beat LSU at LSU, especially at night. When Texas Binance, Catherine Coley is the CEO of Binance. She used to work at Ripple, and now she's running Binance US. So if she or any of her people are listening, you need to answer this one. Texas, when are we going to have Texas? We need Georgia. Anybody else out there that any other states that they don't? I know they don't have New York yet. I got somebody in a car. I think, okay, they're backing out of my driveway. I've got, every once in a while I'll be doing one of these and I'll see someone drive up and I'm like, geez. Okay, yeah, we got Florida. Michelle XRP, wait for New York to open up and it will be a tsunami. Yeah, I'm sure that will be pretty well. It's good in New Jersey. Uphold, I use it. Yep. Uphold's great. Now, I don't know. Thanks, Tony XRPZ. 999. Thank you for that. Official R2D2 yeah. Let's see here. Is Coinbase Pro still the way to go? It is, in my opinion. Coinbase Pro, in my opinion, if you don't have, the only thing I would say to that is, okay, thanks. See, Maltese, I need to know this. I don't have any idea about how to do these streams. This is my first real stream where I'm really talking to you. And I don't know, my drone is in the drone. I get that, Coining 203. Oh, man. Yeah, you make me nervous, man. But anyway, I don't have any idea on these streams what the proper way to do things is, so I'm doing the best I can here. But back to that Coinbase Pro issue. The Coinbase Pro thing, I believe, unless you have an over-the-counter firm that you're able to do, and that's only for high net worth. Usually they're $100,000 or more, and you have to show them that you got that kind of money before they're going to let you in. Now, an over-the-counter is the ultimate way to go. But Coinbase Pro, when we have the next bull run, Coinbase Pro is going to have plenty of volume running through there for you to do whatever you need to do. And I think they upped their fees and all, but that's not relevant. If things moon the way I think they will moon at some point, it's not gonna a fee's not gonna bother you too much, I don't think. Bitstamp is decent. I know. Let's see. Does the price drop confound you? Does it confound me? I have been through so many of these roller coaster rides that it's all neither here nor there to me, to be honest. And look, I'm the first guy to say to you guys out there, I understand that some people jumped in during or right there after the bull run of 2017. But then you could go back and you could say, well, some people jumped in during, there was a major bull run in XRP in like May of 2016 where it went absolutely crazy. Well, some people jumped in there, and some of them got out and they may have, decided they didn't want any part of this. I can tell you for myself, and here's this kind of, if you zoom out, this kind of puts things in perspective. I got in 2013. We had a major crash somewhere in there, and I don't remember the exact dates. We had a major crash. And when that major crash happened, at that time, not just myself, but my father and a couple other people that were involved with me, there are some of those people that to this day will not even talk. They don't even have the stomach to talk about digital assets. This was in 2014. It had spiked up, and somewhere in 2014, it was like a drop, the same kind of thing that we saw from 2017 till now. And what to really put all this in context, there are people that to this day will not even talk about this now with me. Do you understand that? That was 2014. Now, if they had looked at it the way I did, I put it up on the shelf for a long time after 2014 because I thought, okay, well, maybe I was wrong about this whole thing. And it wasn't until it took 2 years, okay? 2 years back then. And then one day, and I believe it was May of 2016, I thought this whole Ripple thing was, and remember, during that time also, during that same amount, oh, thank you, Pam. Am I missing things here? I'm sorry if I am. Okay, this is Pam Burchell. Thank you. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate that. But during that time, from 2014 to all the way to 2016, XRP sat there and didn't do a thing. And I literally forgot about it. I literally said to myself, you know what? I was wrong. I put it up. And in fact, GateHub that got hacked yesterday, I believe, GateHub is where I had put it, okay? Because Ripple used to have a thing called Ripple Trade. Ripple had Ripple Trade. And, oh, by the way, I haven't said it on the stream. I'm supposed to do this on these, right? Smash the like button. Smash it as hard as you can. Smash the like button because, again, that's one of those things that the streamers know how to know to tell you to do. But I haven't. I appreciate Kevin Russell. Smash that like button. But anyway, so I went from 2014 to 2016 thinking that I had been wrong. I literally woke up one day in May, I believe, of 2016, and I said, you know what? I told my wife, I said, I wasn't wrong. And from that day, I started really studying all this again, and I realized that I had been right, and everything about Ripple I knew it was dead on. So then in 2000, I'm looking at that Tesla truck on my TV that just came out. It looks so cool. They smashed the window. I think they were trying to prove that the windows you couldn't smash them, and it smashed right through twice. And Elon Musk is standing right there. It looked like a pretty embarrassing deal. But anyway, and it wasn't until that time that I said, wait a minute, I was right about this stuff. And so the reason I tell you all that is that these things you're going through right now, back then, we didn't even have a Ledger Nano S. You couldn't store your digital assets on hard storage. You had to play a shell game. You had to put some over here and some over here and some over here at this exchange just to have a chance of hackers not getting it. It was like that. It was the true wild, wild west. And so now when I look at days like today and I look at the prices, this is like, it doesn't really affect me the way that it did back then. I literally owned my XRP and I was like, man, I'm looking out my window saying, am I going to get in trouble for owning this? It was like that back then. It was scary. And you had just imagine this, all of the fears that you have as you sit there listening to this live stream. Imagine having all of those fears. Now add 100 fears, some of which are worse than the fears you have now. And that's what it was like. We're so far down the tracks now. And now you're waking up and you're seeing news of central banks, and we're finding out that central banks have been keeping this hush-hush, and they've been planning all of this behind the scenes for like 3.5 years. Back then, you were just reading articles about, it's today the day where the federal government comes in and declares it illegal to own these things, much less them being in existence. You know what I mean? So that's the dichotomy. That's the difference between what it was like then versus what it is now. And so when I see people getting frustrated, I understand the frustration. But listen, folks, listen close. What you're a part of right now is not about what you're seeing on CoinMarketCap today or tomorrow. What it's about is, like I've used the example when I've recorded videos, it's about when you're watching somebody raise their hand when they're at swell and they're asking a freaking ex-central banker on stage if XRP could be the world's reserve currency, and the guy is literally not laughing you out of the place. I mean, in 2013, if Ripple could have even packed that room out, which they couldn't have done back then, but if Brad Combs had asked that question in 2013 at a swell event, if there was one, they would have put a straitjacket on that guy. I mean, come on, that's what we're talking about. I mean, we're in a whole different place now. So anyway, okay, enough time. I'm going to read some of your comments now. I want to make sure that I don't ignore that part of this as much as I can. Craig Heaton. We got Notorious XRP, Altcoin Whisperer, Birdie B, BC Matrix, King of Kings, Crypto Knight, Matt LaRoche, DAI. What do you think about one Ripple worker say it's near impossible for XRP to make $100 in 2020? Keep up the good work. I don't know who said that it could or could not. Swell event would have been in David Schwartz's garage. Yes, exactly, Matt LaRoche. Side the people you've met outside the community, will you ever share your name? I don't see that as being something I want is necessary. They're storing Bitcoin code. I'm making a list of people to invite for dinner at my mansion who thought I was stupid or crazy. That's a good list, man. You have no idea how many people made fun of me. And the second that things went crazy in 2017, the ones that made fun the most were coming up to me, patting me on the back. I mean, that is Gary Epperson. I did grow up in Cleveland, Tennessee. Gary, yes, I read your email, and Gary, I will get back with you on that. I appreciate that. Mr. Big Man came a long way. Big Boy Pants, XRP Muser. Remember, we only want half of Ripple's customers. Great news is coming. Not a financial advisor. Do your own research. It would have been arrested, yeah. That's what it felt like back in 2013. My official DAI t-shirt's on its way. Craig Heaton, cool. I'm glad you chose this time to live stream now to have XRP information news all day. XRBUA. What my plan is, folks, is Papa Bear grew up in Cleveland, Tennessee as well. I went to Stewart School in Cleveland, Tennessee as a child, and then went to 1 year of Cleveland Junior High School. And let's see, did Swell make you more bullish on XRP? Yeah, Swell, here's the deal. A lot of people were disappointed that Swell, there was not some groundbreaking announcement at Swell or whatever. Let me have some coffee here. And I am drinking coffee at 4 o'clock on a Friday. A lot of people were disappointed. Thanks, Simon Bickerton, by the way. Big Boy Pants cracks me up. Hey, listen, you guys, the Big Boy Pants thing, by the way, the Big Boy Pants thing is something in the middle of the 2018, when it was the worst. They were trying to tell us all sorts of things. The Big Boy Pants thing really just came from, my dad kind of raised me that way, is that you a lot of times you just have to understand the game that you're in. It's like if you're playing football or something. Your coach is not, when things get rough out there and you're getting the crap beat out of you on a football field, your coach is not going to pull you aside and give you a hug. It's not going to happen. That's not life, folks. And I'm sorry if that hurts some people's feelings, but that is not how life works. The way life works is we have to use our minds. And a lot of people, oh, thanks, Danny Loth. Trump wants pancakes with Lagarde. Aiden Trading, hey, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. You don't need to be, man, you're a young man. Hey, listen, let me say something to you, Aiden Trading, real quick. Your parents should be very proud of you, because any young man like yourself who takes the kind of initiative that you have taken, I'm going to, in fact, when the stream's over, I'm going to bring my 13-year-old in here and say, look at this kid. This is a kid who's going to be a businessman one day. He's figured out how to get up off his butt and quit playing video games and actually do something productive, and he's actually becoming something. That is to be admired, and your parents should be very proud of you, man. And that's part of the reason we called into your show during Swell, is because I want to be supportive of anyone, whether it's a young person or an older person, who is fighting the good fight and trying to do something positive and actually get up and do something with their life, man. How does anybody say anything bad about that? I mean, good for you, man. So whatever you do, and this is to you as well, Aiden Trading. In fact, I was talking to a young guy today who he had dropped out of college, and I told him to finish his college. I said, look, while you're young, you go and you finish your school, okay? Because as you get older, you'll hear it 1,000 times, but you can take it from me. If you don't finish now, you'll never finish. So if going to college is something that is your goal, And that doesn't mean you stop your YouTube channel, Aiden, but if going to college if that's something that you want to do, then do it, and do it while you're young. Any education that people want in life, you have to do it early, because when you're older, you might say you're going to go back to school, but you never will, or most people never do. And so that's one of the life lessons I've learned. But I'm not saying that to Aiden for any other reason than keep doing what you're doing and be entrepreneurial and do something you're passionate about. That's what this is really about. Is we're here. None of us would do any of this stuff. Hey, Aiden, thanks, man. Don't do that anymore, okay? This is my own money, not my pay. Hey, listen, buddy, I appreciate what you're doing, but don't do that. We're fine on this end, okay? I appreciate that, but listen, you're to be admired, and anybody who doesn't is sick. Alex Cobb told Aiden to drop out of messed up. No, look, Alex Cobb is also one of the guys that should be admired more than anybody in this space. I mean, this guy is like, he's done something that he inspired me to do this channel. Alex Cobb has done things that most people his age never will do. And that's another note that both Aiden and Alex, or anybody that's young that's listening to my voice, should know. Do not think for 1 second, guys, or anybody that's thinking about starting one of these YouTube channels or Twitter or anything else, do not think that what you're doing is something that can be duplicated just anytime you feel like it. You are all, and don't ever forget this, you are all in the right place at the exact right time in history to be in a magical place that probably couldn't be duplicated in 2 or 3 lifetimes. And don't ever forget that. And so to Aiden, while you're sitting here listening, don't ever stop doing your videos. You find whatever number you're comfortable with and be consistent with it. And don't make videos just to make videos. Make them because you are into what you're talking about. But we're all sitting here at a juncture of history where you won't ever see this again. I mean, and I couldn't say that if I had not been kicked and knocked down several times in my life. I mean, anybody who's lived for any period of time, you've been through all of that. And I'm not trying to give speeches here today, but I am telling you, because I haven't really talked to my audience like this before, except in recorded videos. But just understand that these things, and I think I heard Jungle Inc. one time say something to the effect. He said that he had made a few videos doing different things, and then he started talking about XRP, and all of a sudden it caught on like wildfire. It's not a coincidence that we're making videos about XRP and about digital assets and that this thing is catching wildfire. It's catching wildfire because everybody listening to my voice knows it in their gut that this is financial truth and honesty, and that the world is in the midst of changing. And I don't give 2 craps what LiveCoin Watch or CoinMarketCap or any of those things say today or yesterday or a week ago. What matters is that everything that's going on right now, including the audience that is dying to hear things about this stuff right now, it's all happening for a reason, and it's happening because we are at that point in time where everybody, and it all has to do with everything. It has to do with the financial crisis, it has to do with the dot-com bubble. The digital asset investor is not here without the dot-com bubble, is not here without the financial crisis. And trust you me, I got burned by both in different ways. None of this happens. None of what I'm showing you guys every day about digital assets, I'm not here talking about it if I don't go through all of those things and get kicked. And I could tell you stories that I've never even told you. Let me go through and give some credit to these people here that had given these last few things here. Okay, Aiden, I appreciate you. Chris Hughes, your motivation's contagious. Thank you for dedication. Thanks, man. Hey, I appreciate that. My motivation comes from really 2 areas. First, I had a growing up, I had a father who told me stories about trying to be a salesman in textiles in the middle of the 70s interest rates. That I believe interest rates got up to like 15%, things you couldn't even imagine now. And my dad said that he used to, it says, been watching your shows since the beginning. Keep up the great. When you think, hey, I appreciate that. Farshad Rouhani, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But my dad told me that he used to load up, and back then, the salespeople up towards Tennessee and North Carolina, they drove around in Cadillacs. That was like the traveling salesman car. And my dad would load up the whole family in the car. And his story that he told me is that he would drive around and he sold carpet to manufacturers, and he would sell carpet. And he said that when he was selling the carpet, he would not let himself eat until after he had made a sale. Sorry, lost my train of thought. He would not eat anything until after he was would make a sale. And that always made an impression on me. Imagine that you can't eat anything until after you make a sale. That's kind of a lot of pressure. But anyway, he said that always reminded him that, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. That always reminded my father that if he didn't get to eat, that his kids weren't going to be able to eat if he didn't make a sale. And that's the kind of things that and he drove around listening to motivational tapes and thinking about things like that. And when you're in that kind of a position, you have to pump your mind full of positive things, because if you don't, then the world's going to pump it full of negative things. And that's kind of how Aiden, man, you got to quit this, man. Hey, I will sit. Look at this. I'm on 6th period. 1 more hour till I'm out of jail. That is. Have a good day. You too, man. Hey, I appreciate that. That's why I listen every single. Hey, thank you, Taylor Eckert. XRP affiliate. Thanks for all you do, brother, from Kosovo. Kosovo, bro. Even though I'm overseas, I'm still watching your vids. Hey, guys, I really appreciate that. General asset investor, thank you. I appreciate that. Look at Coin Fair Value. I've never heard of Coin Fair Value, the official of Giants book. Let's see. Welcome to the new frontier of the dawn of interoperability and IOV. Hopefully the price will recover as fast. Hey, yeah, if you will, please give me a like and a subscribe. I'm trying to stay on here as long as I can for you all. Now, I need you all to let me know if you're wanting me to do these more often. I will start doing them more often. And what day do you guys... Thanks. Hey, Farshad Ronnie, I appreciate that. And I really do. But if you guys would tell me what day of the week is best to do these kind of things when I do them, and what time of day, is there anything in particular? I want to get feedback as long as you're all kind of here. May as well see what you guys are saying here. Okay, at least twice a week in live streams. Brad is showing this morning, weekly wrap up live stream, DAI story time, like on Aiden Trade. Hey, Aiden, thanks, man. This because of Farshad. Friday's good. Mornings and nights. Do it as much as you can. Okay, been with you since early. I resent your boys have a father in mind, sir. Yeah, my boys. Look, okay, you, Brad, comes Cryptopolis live stream on Fridays, dear. Now listen, along those lines, I am talking to Brad. About, and Mr. B and Cryptopolis. I spent a lot of time hanging out with Cryptopolis in Vegas. And Cryptopolis is not just a very smart guy, but he's also a very nice person. And what I've tried to do, and I've told this story, I've tried to meet some and get closer to some really nice people. Hey, Ferdy, you need mods on it. Can I be a mod? Yes, Ferdy, talk to me about that. And I would be... Hey, there's Funky Bad Chad. That Funky Bad Chad was in my first live stream from Vegas. But Ferdy, before I forget, yeah, I do need to have some mods, and so message me on that. These are the kind of things. This is just my first one. These are Ferdy, the official first mod of the DAI channel. I'd say so, but that's just being greedy. I know most just persistent stories. I know most don't like your persistent story, but I love those, man. You know, I mean, some people don't like that, but listen, you may think that talking about XRP and talking about the digital assets in general is going to help you in your life to get rich or whatever. And yeah, I think it will. But the things I talk about Earl Nightingale and the things about how to win friends and influence people and those things, those are far more important to your life than getting rich. You can get rich all you want, and if you don't know how to handle being rich, and that includes how you act, then you'll destroy yourself one way or with or without money if you don't know the right way to act and the right way to conduct yourself. He would like to be the official Southern Cal comedian of the digital asset. I like that. Let's see here. Price target. That's funny. Everybody wants a price target. Here's what I'll say about XRP price. You want me to talk about XRP price? Then I'll say this. In the bull run of 2017, XRP went up to 350 to 380, somewhere in there. Maltese Crypto, thank you. Do them after Brad so that people don't have to choose. I'm not going to overlap anybody's stream when I do it. I'll be careful not to step on anybody's toes or anything like that. I'm not interested in anything like that. But I keep, this is my first lesson in doing these live streams, is that you can lose your train of thought by reading a comment and then you forget what you were talking about. So I'm sure I'll get better at that. Let me just read some of y'all's comments and see what people are saying. Yeah, once we all get rich, could you? No, I was talking about price. Let me go back to that. Here's what I will say about XRP price. And, Brad Combs, by the way, warned me about how you can get distracted. But here's what I'll say about XRP price. Thank you, Semi.G, 4 p.m. Eastern's perfect. But what I'll say about prices, in 2017, it hit 350 to 380. Since that time, Ripple is commercially working with, I think, over 300 customers. Ripple is live with the use of on-demand liquidity. We have all sorts of things that are going on that we're not going. We have probably, I would say, over 100 more exchanges. You got XRP on Coinbase. It wasn't on Coinbase in 2007. I could probably make a list of over 1,000 things, positive things for crypto that are happening now. We have Fidelity Digital Assets live. We have Backed live. I could probably go over a list of 1,000 plus things that are positive for this space, and more importantly, that are positive for liquidity in this space, which means more money that can flow into the space and is flowing into the space. I could probably make that list. And so the question that you have to ask yourself is, do you really think that $3.50 is all that XRP has in it? And not just XRP, but Bitcoin and all the rest. We hit as high as $350 billion. Right now we're sitting at $200 billion. The lowest this has gone since 2017. And thanks Robert Carr for £3 there. We've gone as low as about $100 billion in this market. We went as high in 2017 in the bull run, and we went as high in that 2017 bull run as about 300, as I recall, was it 350 billion or so, 308, something like that. Well, do you really think, and I talk to my dad about this all the time. So do you really think, are they now going to put this whole genie right back in the bottle and we're just going to all go to zero? And they all just put $100 million into creating that, and this just didn't work out. We're just going to pack up and go home. Do you really believe that? What's more likely? Do you believe that, or do you believe all of these thousands of things are a setup to what's really going to happen? Well, there's Salvo Leon right there. Now look, Salvo Leon just hooked us up with €4, but look, this is the person right here. He's got crypto-stickers.com. Salvo Leon on Twitter, and he's the one. If you have an official title, or maybe if you even just wanted to make up your own. You can go there and he prints these things for you, I think, just on demand. So that's the man with the plan. And my disclaimer is that me and him are not in business. I'm not making any money off of it. He did me a favor, and this is a lesson in life too. You never know what's going to happen when you cast your bread upon the water. I think that's a saying from the Bible. But cast your bread upon the water, which means you never know what's going to happen if you put out positive things or do things. Do random acts of kindness. You never know what's going to happen for you. So this guy now has a full official digital asset investor t-shirt shop going. So good for him. He deserves it. He did that for me with nothing to gain, and so there you go. Maybe that's not in the Bible, Wong Johnson. I don't know. I think there is a something to the effect of cast your net upon, or something to that effect. But anyway, I didn't mean to go down a tangent of the Bible. Okay. Sometimes quotes pop into my head and I don't get them exactly right. Now we're at 587 watching this. I think we're having a pretty decent time, or maybe I would have gone down, and maybe it's the time of day. In a few minutes, well, not really a few minutes. I really have plenty of times, but in a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes or so, I may have to take my son somewhere. But I'm really cool. Unless you guys are wanting to stop this thing. Wait a minute. Somebody says, is anyone else frozen? I think I'm good on my end. Let me know if we experienced a problem there. I'm seeing it. I got my ticker still showing the thing. Now, let's see if this thing gets back going. Okay. Is everybody, it says keep yapping. Cinnamon in your margarita tonight. You know, I'm kind of feeling pizza tonight, believe it or not. I'm really feeling like I might want some pizza tonight. Pizza, you know, here's the thing. Mr. B told me that when I do this fasting thing, if I eat from 12 until 8 at night, I can pretty much, as long as I keep it reasonable, I can eat whatever I want, just eat reasonable amounts. So I'm trying to take his word for it and see if this thing will work. Pizza in my margarita. I do think that you can never lose with pizza and a beer, you know. I sent you a link on Twitter. Brad K shared it this morning. Yeah, what about Cardano? Where do you see Cardano? Now, I did talk to Charles Hoskinson. Now, here's what I'll tell you about Cardano. I talked to Charles Hoskinson, and I will tell you the honest truth. I see, hey Ferdy, I see that you DM'd me on Twitter about YouTube mod. After this stream, I will look at that, and I'll look at that. But I walked straight up to Charles. This is a true story. I walked straight up to Charles Hoskinson in Las Vegas when we were there. And Charles Hoskinson is the nicest guy in the world. And he really is. You'd think that some of these people might be arrogant, but he's not that way at all. He's a very nice guy. He's a taller guy than I thought he would be. But he's the nicest guy in the world. And I walked up to him and I said, listen, here's your problem, Charles. And I told him, I'm talking to a guy who's probably a billionaire, like as if I'm in any place to tell him what he's doing wrong. But I did. I mean, I talked to him just like he was a regular person like you and I are. So I said, Charles, here's the problem, that the only thing I can tell that you're a genius and you guys you're creating a great platform. But the problem is, when I'm watching your Ask Me Anythings, the problem is that you're talking way above a lot of our heads when you're talking. You're talking about all of the specific technology and the things, and Shelly and all the different things that y'all are working on, and but you're not communicating like Ripple, part of the reason we're all into Ripple is that we're seeing every day all of the commercial things they're working on, and we're seeing the progress that they're making from a sales perspective, the real world things that are going to be employed in use cases. But when you look, when we see Cardano, we hear all about how great the tech is. And I told him this to his face, and I didn't say it in an ugly way because I don't want it to be in an ugly way. I want him to help communicate to me more about what they're doing. Anyway, so his response to me was that the Cardano Foundation is in charge of getting out that message, whereas Charles Hoskinson is in charge of the tech message, which is fine, but I still think that they need to, and hey, Dion Wiles, thanks. What is your exit plan? That's something I need to answer. My exit plan is very simple, Dion. First, it's what I've told all of you is I have tiers. I won't go over the number tiers, but I do have an initial, I have a wife, just like many of you have wives, who wants me to show her the money. Okay. Anybody seen that movie? And because our wives want us to show them the money, or many of you may want to show yourselves the money. I have an early stage where I'll cash out some. But in the mid to long run, I don't intend to sell hardly any of my XRP. I intend to be around in the next 5-10 years, because I believe that I will leverage my XRP and leverage it in terms of wealth to never sell it for tax purposes. I believe for tax purposes, I will never sell most of my XRP, because I don't want to incur the taxes that come with it. I believe that I will probably borrow against that asset before selling any of it. Now, I will, just so that we can show them. Thanks, John Neguera. Yeah, I love your channel. Thank you for all your work you do, HODL XRP. I will sell an initial stack of XRP to just make things fun around here. Is that the right way to say it? And to show my wife the money and to say, here you go. All that talk was not for nothing. I would like to do that for, I would like to do that. And that would be, and then we all go out and we have a margarita and some cheese dip, right? Maybe some fancy margaritas and cheese dip. Maybe in Atlanta somewhere. But yeah, there is going to be, and when I do exit, the question was my exit strategy. It will come from a Ledger Nano S. Most likely it'll go to Coinbase Pro. And even to this day, I have a limit sell order in right now on Coinbase, but it's a ridiculous number. I mean, it's not, I'll tell you the number. I've got a standing limit Coinbase sell order at $5. I'm a believer, folks. I don't just say this stuff. I'm a believer. $5. And that's just, that's not me cashing out. That's not what that is. That's just saying to my wife, here you go. And it's a symbolic figure, because back in the 2017 run, I told my wife that I was going to take some off the table just to show the money and to do a couple of fun things at $5. And I told my sons that I would get them a weenie dog and name it Ripple as well. And I stand by that. So that $5 doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have anything to do with how far I believe XRP could go. It's just a number that I came up with back during the 2017 run. Hold on a second. Is my audio volume working now? Is that the only open order you... Yeah, that is the... Yeah. No, I have that. That's just a symbolic open order. It's not even some large amount of what I have. That's just a symbolic sell order that I have in, a limit sell order that I have in, that I just keep there. And I put it in when we went to Swell in Las Vegas, just to have it there, because you don't ever know what's going to happen. I'm telling you, and that's what's crazy. You're all looking at this live coin watch right now. Let's refresh this and see what it looks like. We're at 198 billion market cap. We're at 23 cents right now. Folks, remember, in that 2017 run, I remember because I had mine on my Bitstamp app on my phone. And when I remember watching that app, and for about 20 or 30 days, I woke up and kept showing that to my wife, and I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. But the point is that this all happens within the blink of an eye. And I believe that at some point when everyone decides that it's time, I don't know why it'll happen or when it's going to happen, but I believe that when it happens on the next one, like I said, we've got a list of over 1,000 things, positive things that have happened since that run. All of that run, remember, all of that run happened with just a handful of people like you and me that are that follow this enough to be able to get on and do all this stuff. And you couldn't even, if you remember, all the exchanges locked up, everything was locked up. In other words, the system was completely inefficient, and XRP still went to 350, and I think it was 380 in South Korea. It still went to that place when we didn't have, they didn't have the infrastructure in place to let it go where it could go. The exchanges locked up. They stopped accepting customers. Do you remember that? If you hear nothing else in this stream, those of you who have never heard me tell this story, back then we hit 350 or so here in the United States. Those exchanges were shut down. I know Bittrex shut down. I can't remember Binance, but there were some of the major exchanges, and there weren't many of them. They shut down. They could not take more customers. They couldn't approve people for withdrawals. It was all backlogged. Remember? And XRP still got to 350 and 380 over in South Korea. The question is, what can XRP do? If it can do 350 under that scenario, what can it do when we have Wall Street pipes? Okay? What can it do when people don't have to shut off their websites? What can it do when there is no backlog? That's the question. And that's the reason that I never lose my enthusiasm, because we are a part of something that is going to change the world, and the pipes have just been being laid since 2017. All they've been doing is improving the infrastructure, and that's not even talking about what Ripple has been laying. When I see what Ripple has been doing for since 2000, probably at least 14. When I look at Ripple, I always compare it to the guys that laid like the railroad tracks. It's like the Industrial Revolution. I compare it to when was it Vanderbilt who laid the railroad tracks across the United States, and before then there were major problems with transportation. Well, this guy, I'm sure the guy wasn't making money. He was probably going into debt up to his eyeballs while those tracks were being laid. But what happened once the tracks were laid and he could put those trains on those tracks and move people and product across the country? Well, we know what happened because the history books tell us. He became one of the wealthiest people in the history of the world. Okay? So, you got a company that's not just laying payment rails in the United States, but is laying payment rails worldwide and has a digital asset in XRP that is a part of those payment rails being laid worldwide. So what does that look like when the history books are written? That is the Commodore, I see D51854. What do those railroad tracks look like when we have the infrastructure, not just for what Ripple's building, but the digital asset infrastructure and the on and off ramps that aren't going to have log jams when on this next bull run? What does that look like? Well, in my humble opinion, it don't look like $3.50. I'm sorry if it's loud. I'm right up on the microphone just because I'm excited. Sometimes I get excited when I'm talking about this stuff. So many of you will remember all. I backed away from the microphone, y'all. Is it better now? Yep, I think it's better now. Hey, XRP Rocks, I see you. That guy was cool. For those of you that don't remember, XRP Rocks is the guy. When we were about to go live for my first ever live stream in Vegas, XRP Rocks was sitting to my left, and we didn't know what we were going to focus the camera on because at the time I wasn't showing my face. And he draws a stick figure and hands it to me. He says, "How about this?" And I started laughing. I said, "Yes, that's exactly what we need." So he's responsible for that stick figure. And as a matter of fact, I swear to you, I don't know where I put that thing, but I kept that stick figure, and I think I put it somewhere. And y'all tell me if you would like. Oh, thanks, Slin Zizzer. What is DIA 2020 end of year price prediction post BTC having in all? Well, hey, I appreciate that Ranger Cubs 175. But I don't price prediction. What my prediction is everything I just described to you. My prediction is that I don't believe there's not one tiny itsy bitsy little piece of me. Thank you, David Maturo. There's not even one tiny piece of me that believes that 350 for XRP is all that was all we're ever going to see. And sorry, let's all pack our bags and go home. If I ever even thought that for a second, I wouldn't be here. I mean, that to me, that is the most ludicrous thought pattern on the planet, to think that thanks XRP Rocks, man, I appreciate that. But to me, that's the most ludicrous idea on the planet, that that was it, and we've seen enough. What I see when I see that 350, what I see is I see that Wall Street saw that. And remember, this is something a lot of you might not remember. Remember when that run up happened? That's when they came out with Bitcoin futures. It wasn't till they launched the Bitcoin futures, and it was wasn't it the CFTC that launched the Bitcoin futures? The official old man of the digital asset investor channel. Is that what that says? Yeah. Yeah, you can. But this is something a lot of people don't remember. But when that bull run in 2017 happened, remember, and I've been told this behind the scenes too by people, that's when Wall Street went on notice. Because remember, all the way up till 2017, they were kind of like, this whole crypto thing, this is all scam and all this. That was the way they were towards it. But then they launched those futures, and I remember reading somebody somewhere said that we're going to tame Bitcoin. Well, I've always believed that what they were really doing, they cranked out those Bitcoin futures so that they could bring this whole market down and control this while they set up the infrastructure to come in. I think that 2017 is when they really were on notice. Hey, we got to be a part of this. This is a thing. This isn't something we can ignore anymore. And that's what I've always felt like. And so I'm not going to give you a number, but I am going to say all of my optimism lies in $5 and beyond, and not close to $5. It's not. I mean, that's what I feel in my gut. If we can hit $3.50 with what we had going on in the 2017 bull run, the idea and the even remote thought pattern that that's all this market has is ridiculous. That's a joke to me. And so I will be just like Vanderbilt the Commodore. I will go down if that's what we're talking about. I will go down with this ship because I don't believe that for even a half a second. I think that we're in the middle of our own industrial revolution of sorts. I believe it's bigger because it involves the financial world. Let's see what we got. All right. Hi, D. I'm trying to make an exit plan, certain exit prices, but I'm not sure where it's going to go. Well, nobody's sure of where it's going to go. DAI, Ripple XRP, laying the railroad tracks, digital currency landscape, great analogy. Peace on you, Allah. DAI isn't getting your crypto back when it's from a ledger analyst, a pain in the butt. Can exchange refuse your crypto coin? Okay, well, along those lines, and I've talked to some guys that what they do is they're trickling their digital assets back into some exchanges like Coinbase Pro. And they're trickling them back in a little bit at the time. What I would say to you is you need to be prepared. And he makes a good point. And this was, let me see, this right here. Gregory Del Val, he says, DAI isn't getting your crypto back on the exchange from a Nano S a pain in the butt. Can the exchange refuse your crypto coin? Now, this is something that you need to be prepared for. And the reason is because of all this KYC stuff and all this, these exchanges could, let's say you send them 50,000 XRP from a Ledger Nano S and it lands on Coinbase Pro. I mean, they could effectively say, hey, wait a minute, whoa, where's this from? You do need to have documentation as to where you did this. And I recommend to everybody, when you do transactions for your tax purposes, if nothing else, print out where you bought it, print out the page that shows you sending it to your ledger, print out from your ledger, print out everything you can that shows the sending address, the receiving address, and all of that track all the way back to where you bought and where you took your money out of the bank account and then sent it here, because I believe that could be an issue with some exchanges. I don't know which ones, but that's a good point that is made there, in that when the time comes, you could have someone red flag you, and so you have to be able to tell them, here's where this came from. Now, here's another point having to do with that. If you have the dollars with a Coinbase Pro or a Coinbase, when you're in the middle of a bull run, if they lock your account and they say, well, we don't know where this came from that just landed from your Ledger Nano S onto our site, and therefore we're not going to let you cash out. Well, that doesn't mean they're not going to let you sell it into US dollars so that it's just sitting there, which is not the end of the world. But the only way that I know that there is around this is if you're a higher dollar investor. And unfortunately, the world is geared to higher net worth people. They get to do things that people that aren't higher net worth don't get to do. But if you're with an over-the-counter firm, at firms like that, you'll actually have people you can talk to. So what I would encourage anyone to do, if you don't have that wherewithal, is if there's any way you can figure out how to have a person that you can get on the phone, or an email address of a person at Coinbase, someone that you could actually talk to in a scenario like that, so that if there's a major bull run going on, and they're saying, and their computer system's flagging you and saying, oh, well, we can't let this person cash out because we don't know where this came from, some ledger, and we don't know how they came in. All that does happen to you. What you need is a person. I mean, ultimately, right? If you have an over-the-counter account, you'll have that person. With a Coinbase Pro, you're going to need to do some emails back and forth, see if you can find a person, or find a friend of a friend who works there. I don't know on that. Let's see. I'm going back here. I'm at an hour and 23 minutes right now. We got 651 people in here. Is there anything else that people want to know, so that before I log off of here? Need a USD conversion on Ledger Live, decentralized exchanges. Sean Wofford, decentralized exchanges. I don't think I know what decentralized exchanges are, but I don't think that I've used one for anything. Again, these decentralized exchanges, if you're going and using these things, anything that puts you at odds with governments, I just believe that's not gonna do anything but put you under scrutiny. I've avoided privacy coins and avoided decentralized exchanges because I'm not interested. I'm not trying to get away with anything. I'm just not. I don't want to go down that road, and I don't recommend anyone does. You need to all pay your taxes, and don't ever think that you're going to get away with something in this space, because that's a mistake. if it's still sub $1 in 10 years, if it's still sub $1 in 10 years, come on now. The life of Ripple, that's like a 10-year question. If it's like that, you probably will. They might need to have a DAI home to just put me in. I don't see that being the world that we're living in right there. Are corporations allowed to hodl digital assets like general LLCs? I don't know if they are now. I don't think that they are now, but I'm sure that if you were talking to an OTC firm, you could do that. I mean, remember, he's asking, are corporations allowed to hodl digital assets like general LLCs? I will bet you that we know that Harvard and Yale's endowment has invested in digital assets in one way or another. So I can promise you that they're able to hold their investments in some form of a company or a nonprofit or something. And so I'm sure the powers that be are setting up, probably in Liechtenstein, they're setting up every kind of thing you can think of known to man. I pictured Dr. Phil. Actually, my hairline is receding, but not as bad as Dr. Phil's. I sold at 25 cents, bought back at 22. Will token velocity be a problem for XRP? Are you asking if the speed of XRP will be a problem? If the way David Schwartz has always answered that question is, look, if banks are having to hold XRP, if anybody is having to hold XRP in order to do this movement of money or in the payment flows, you're going to have speculation, you're going to have market makers and all these things. And because of all that, you're going to have prices that go up and down due to speculation. It's just a natural part of it. So the speed, I've heard the argument before that it's too fast to go up. And I've always thought that was silly. If it was too fast to go up, then tell me what happened in 2017 or why that happened or how that happened. Would regulate, have you seen the Liechtenstein Blockchain Act presentation about the tokenization of that? Please Google it. If you type a PDF as well. Hey, what's up? Carl Lewis. Then we have a problem. For our fun, I pictured Will Ferrell taking out Talladega Light. I have some dinar exchanges from XRP. I see Ricky Bobby. All right, well, I think I'm about to wind it down. The thing is, I don't even know if I know how to turn this thing off, but we're about to find out. Any thoughts on HBARs? I bought some, when it first came out, I bought the HBARs on Bittrex. And it's one of the only digital assets that I still own. And the reason I own it, I'm not worried about what happened in the early days of them selling HBARs. I bought it because to my knowledge, it's the first or one of the first digital assets that has come out that is not blockchain technology. It's hash graph technology, which is supposed to be like a next generation of this. And so for that reason, I wanted to own some of it, and I still do. And I'm not going to sell HBARs. I may buy some more if it's cheap. I haven't even looked at the price in a month or two. But Founder is a long-term. Is the founder in Mississippi State? Are you Cody? Are you saying that the founder of Hedera Hashgraph is Mississippi State? That's where my wife's dad played football. That's why I was asking. You're welcome, Sin City. To the Lifeboats doesn't rate HBAR at all. In the meantime, we all buy it. He thinks it suffers peanut. He might be right. I don't. To the Lifeboats could be right on that. I don't really know. I bought into the HBARs. I'm not focused on their price right now and all that, but I bought into it because it was one of the first of that type of technology onto the scene, and that's pretty much the reason why. So. Let's see what else we have. My son's trying to come in here. Don't come in right now. I'm almost finished. I got $600 from Crypto. Case. Did you get anything? You know, Digital Dunce, I did not get anything. And the reason I didn't get anything is because I was so new to this, I did not have any proof where I couldn't find any. I went back looking for, they wanted proof that you owned things on there. And I couldn't provide the proof to the attorneys in that case. And so they never gave me anything. And I'm telling you what, there was a lot of money that was lost on that thing by people I know and even people in my family. I mean, there's a lot of, that one right there would make you people sick out there. the whole Crypto.com thing, that guy that ran that site, he was very responsive on Twitter the whole time he was running that site. And then one day he disappears and skips town to China, and nobody has ever seen the guy since. On Twitter, he went by the name of Big Vern. And he was the weirdest thing about it. Usually when people are very responsive, you think, okay, well, this is legit. And then at the very end, all of a sudden he's gone. And so I guess he was the best of con men is what that means. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I hope I didn't screw up my first live stream, but I thought that this might be an interesting thing to do maybe on Fridays. I haven't decided for sure, but I think that I'll try to do these more often. And let's see, I'm looking to make sure there's not anything. Simon Bickerton, I'm giving you a shout out there. Thanks. What's HBARs? HBARs is Hedera Hashgraph's digital asset. You can buy them on Bittrex if that's something you're interested in looking into. But do your own research first. All right. Well, I am going to get out of here, and I might go have some pizza tonight. Thank you for listening. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that I'm doing my outro now.